Last week on Gleeboot, Kitty had the audacity to compare herself to Quinn. There was a slap fight. Sarah Jessica Parker wore a great dress, and they sang a life-changing cover mashup of Let's Have a Kiki / Turkey Lurkey Time. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
That
Yay!
song. I had waited for that moment for so long that I'm so low energy this episode because I'm like, I hit my peak. That was my peak. That's why I did the podcast.
Is it all downhill from here?
Yeah, I mean, there are some pretty terrible things that happen in the show afterwards, after this. So, yeah.
Oh boy, excitement.
Gleeboot. Welcome back to Gleeboot, the show where we get drunk and talk about rebooting Glee one episode at a time. I'm Cullen.
Alyssa.
I'm Hannah.
And today we have a very special guest, my friend Chidera.
Hello.
Yay.
Hi.
Woo.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say I'm in a slightly caffeine high, delirious state. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm drinking caffeine. I have a book to finish reading for work by tomorrow.
Only 2/3 through.
Bon chance.
We should also talk about how you said you wrote a full-length feature script in 3 days, the past couple of days. So, yeah.
Well, it was a rewrite. So
It was based on a play.
yeah, it was like not from scratch, but
No.
still really, really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's riding a high.
Yeah, I'm fucking insane right now, and this episode played into that.
Yeah, you're speaking about twice as fast as you normally speak.
Yep. What are we all drinking today?
Well, I have a fun little concoction. So my boyfriend apparently heard that Fireball and lemonade is apparently really good. I don't like Fireball. I tasted it yesterday and I could taste the Fireball. It was gross. But I was like, hey, mix some tequila and lemonade and I'll be all on that. So that's what I'm drinking. I did also take headache medicine not too long ago, so this will be fun.
Oh boy.
We're a mess, as
Alyssa,
always.
you're hosting this week.
Oh my gosh, that's too much pressure. It already got to me because I put ice in my beer. It was too warm. And I understand why maybe you're not supposed to do it anymore because it got super flat really fast and like the flavor is gone. So the next one, I put it in the freezer so it'll actually be cold.
Yeah.
It's
What kind of beer is it?
It's
Okay.
Stella.
I just finished drinking a Starbucks Frappuccino chilled coffee drink vanilla.
Next time, drink like this much of it. How much is this much? Do like this much.
This is helpful on a visual
Oh,
auditory medium.
deadly. Oh my gosh. They'll keep you wired.
Like the first, drink the first part of the bottle that does, and then it starts getting wider. Like drink the neck of the bottle and then fill the neck of the bottle with coffee liquor and just shake it up and drink that.
Boom. There you go.
Do we have coffee liquor?
I think there's some.
We
but
have
there
a lot
might be,
of alcohol.
there's definitely like the almond milk Baileys, which would probably be really good in there too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
We'll see
Well, there you go.
how fucked up I want to make my brain. Chidera, what are you drinking?
So I'm drinking here. Let me take it out. In my brewmate. I was listening to y'all's last episode talking about like wanting to get sponsors. So I like
Sponsored by Brewmate.
So I got Brewmate, which all the Instagram bloggers are sponsored by. And this is called She Can Rosé. It's by a Black business. The McBride sisters are based in California, but it just reminded me of this episode. So that's why I got it.
Do they sell that at Target?
I feel like they do. I bought this at a local liquor store.
Okay.
Yeah, but She Can Rosé, McBride sisters.
We
Black
gotta
owned.
find that around
Women
here.
owned.
Sponsor us.
sponsor us. Brewmate sponsor, or I guess you guys. Brewmate sponsor.
You can sponsor Chidera too.
Yeah.
Sponsor me. Shit, sponsor me.
You can pay my rent. You can pay my student loans.
Please, just my student loans. Sponsor me.
So, Chidera, what is your journey with the show Glee?
So, I watched it in high school when it first came out. I did color guard in high school, and we had a routine to the Glee version of Florence and the Machine's Dog Days Are Over.
Oh, okay.
Because we like voted as like a team, like which version do you like better, the original version or the Glee version? And everyone was like the Glee version. So
Wow.
That is the most like our time in high school. Like,
Yeah, really.
right?
Controversial too.
But then I stopped watching it. But I stopped watching it after they went to like college, like
Mhm.
That's when most people stop.
Yeah. But also, like, as we're watching this episode, I guess we can get into it in the recap. I also realized another reason why I stopped watching it, but I won't spoil it right
Ooh.
now. I know.
Ooh. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, it's like a,
It's a secret right now.
She's letting it simmer.
right now it's a secret. Spoiler alert.
All right. And then you took the BuzzFeed quizzes?
I did. I came prepared with notes and everything. But so the character that I am, they said Quinn Fabre.
Okay.
Nice.
They said you're smart, mature, and glamorous. Duh. So, you're someone who's made a big mistake. I haven't made that many big mistakes. They need to like literally calm down. I've learned from them. I haven't made that many big mistakes, but often lend your guidance to those who need it. I haven't made that many big mistakes. They're being dramatic, but
Yes.
it makes sense.
As Glee often is. Dramatic.
Dramatic.
And then who is your Glee boyfriend?
Kurt Hummel, which I feel like that's who my Glee boyfriend was when I was watching the show. So it just literally makes sense.
Nice.
I love Kurt. Kurt is my number one. He's my favorite character of all time. So
Yeah, he's probably like the most normal for Glee standards.
What I'm saying, honestly.
Like, he's pretty level-headed all around. I mean, he does love to lurk and spy on people, but like we can forgive him for that, I think.
Yeah, no, but I remember watching it in the beginning. Yeah, definitely Kurt.
Very cool.
Yeah. He's a baby and he grew up with the show. Like he's one of the few
Yeah.
characters that looks like a real
Right?
teenager. Yeah.
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 I know. But yeah, this show.
All right. So we're talking about season 4, episode something, Swan Song.
I think it's episode 9. Something like
Is
that.
it?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's after the Thanksgiving episode and before the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So we got about 3-ish storylines. We have Finn and the dissolution of the Glee Club. We have Rachel and Kurt in New York, and we have Bam, Brittany and Sam,
Bam.
or would it be Bram?
I like Bam.
Bam. Oh.
Brittany and Sam, or it's Sydney.
I just remember, I think I stopped watching when Sam came in because he was like Justin Bieber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped watching.
Well, he was in what, like first
Season 2.
Season 2?
Oh,
yeah.
Hi, Suki.
really that early? Dang. I really stopped watching early then. Oh my God. That's so insane. Embarrassing. Have y'all seen that girl on YouTube who she's like, are you not ashamed of yourself?
No.
This is really embarrassing. It's so funny. I say it all the time, but no one's ever seen that meme. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yes, send it to
Yes.
us.
A couple weeks ago, I had to dissect the Kiki Palmer, the sorry to this man
Oh my god. It was that clip.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny.
I feel that all the time. Whenever you're going through Facebook and it's like some random person you in college and they're like tagged and some person they know's picture, so you're like, who is this and why am I seeing their like family picture? Or you're just like, who do I know here?
Oh my gosh. No, so true. I even have people from like my middle school still on my Facebook, and I'm like, why? Like,
oh yeah,
it's just so random.
I got rid of Facebook so long ago, but like, I think about actually, I have a similar thing where I go through like my contacts, my phone, and was like, who is this person? I don't know this person. I look.
Oh my God,
I'm glad I have that little note feature where it's like you can do like a note of like, oh, like where you know them from or something. So I always fill that in now just in case like I come across their name 3 years from now and I'm like, who? Oh, right. I knew them from that. Got it.
That's smart.
Wait, so
That's really
then
smart.
3 years from now, are you just like, yeah, I don't need that anymore, and then you delete it, or do your contacts just like pile up? I have to go through my contacts and get rid of a bunch of them.
Oh, I like to keep all my contacts just in case. It makes me feel special.
Yeah, but
like,
you
look at all the
remember
friends
all
I
of them, don't you?
I know. Look at all the numbers I have. Look who's all not calling me right now.
Yeah, really.
Meanwhile, I'm like, how can I whittle this down to like 5?
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Who
It's
needs
so
a
true.
speed dial when you have 5 numbers in your phone?
All right, so let's talk about a total snooze fest, Rachel.
I have so much to even like go into this. First, Whoopi Goldberg is in this. I was so confused. I literally didn't recognize who she was because she has eyebrows. Like Whoopi Goldberg doesn't have eyebrows.
I didn't realize that.
Like,
Oh
they,
my
like,
God. I didn't
and I'm
realize
like,
that.
she like doesn't have like eyebrows, and like she's one of the few people who's able to like pull that off.
Yeah.
Because I like look, if I didn't have eyebrows, like
Yeah, I'm like, who am I?
like I look crazy. Like Whoopi Goldberg, she just looks like Whoopi with she just looks like Whoopi. But with eyebrows, I was like, who is she?
She's Carmen Thibodeau.
Carmen Thibodeau, pardon. I'm not Carmen Thibodeau.
Yeah, fans of the podcast will know I always refer to Carmen Thibodeau, played by Whoopi Goldberg.
I know.
I was in that full.
Like literally, we must, because like I had it took me like a good minute to figure out who she was. And I don't know, I feel like there's also always this trope of like all these like drama schools, and then there's like this one Black lady with the head wrap who's like in charge of picking the best talent. I'm like, I've seen this so many times, and I'm just like, and of course she gives Rachel the golden ticket. Like, oh my God, no way, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, right. And Rachel decides that she can't dance. Like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Not in season 1. Like, I don't know. It was just.
There's a lot of like, especially in this episode, it happens a lot in the series, but like they're just handed whatever they want on a silver platter with very little effort and so many opportunities.
No, it's so true. I feel like I would have rather seen, instead of this like BS storyline with like Kate Hudson, which I adore Kate Hudson, but just like the storyline where Rachel's like trying to dance to be like this other girl who like is a dancer. Like I would have rather seen her hone her singing ability as opposed to be like, you know what? I might not dance as good as you, but I can out-sing you any day of the week. And like, and that's it. Like, that's all that's Rachel's storyline. Like, that's the end. So.
Yeah. Chidera just summed it all up.
Yeah. That's it. Like, that's
all right, guys. Well, that was the episode.
All right. It's so great meeting you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So Rachel and Kurt are talking. They're cleaning up after their Kiki.
Which, like, how do you stay awake after the Kiki? Like, go to sleep and then clean up in the morning.
I thought it was like the next day or something. Was it not?
No, it was that night because
I think it was that night.
Yeah.
Because so like the episode starts with the Glee Club rushing into the choir room, right from the what was it, Reach sectionals?
Oh, you're right.
So it was still like that same night. Yeah, it's crazy. They had a kiki and then cleaned up afterwards. They didn't have enough fun.
It didn't strike me as super strange. I was charmed by the fact that the champagne glasses were plastic.
Yeah.
I was charmed by that. I was like, oh, look, they are actually kind of like real college students, sort of, except college students would be drinking out of red cups and not
or the bottle.
Glasses.
The bottle.
I would be drinking out of champagne glasses.
Yeah.
Oh.
Except not.
What?
I would have gotten them. Did I tell you? So I got champagne glasses from Goodwill, and they were Tiffany's. They were from Tiffany's. I know, and they were a piece. Did you see my Instagram story, Cullen? They were 99 cents a piece from Tiffany's. So that's what I would have been drinking out of. $140 champagne glass. Can you imagine? Absolutely. They would have been
now I would, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
I'm drinking everything out of those Tiffany glasses.
Period. They still would have been in champagne glasses in college, but like, I mean, even now, I'm drinking my can out of a brewmate. Like, it's because it's colder.
Sponsor us.
Sponsored.
It keeps everything so cold.
It's actually not
and
sponsored.
It's super stylish.
I know. Brewmate, sponsor us, please. Please. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, they would have been real. So I just don't know, but I guess Rachel doesn't shop at Goodwill.
No,
she wouldn't.
Oh no, Rachel would
She would
never.
Her locks. That's fabulous. Goodwill, sponsor us.
Sponsored by Goodwill, yes. Like the hand-me-downs that we are.
Oh my goodness. Hand-me-downs are great, I'm telling you.
We're the hand-me-down version of Kevin and Jenna's podcast.
They're
the actual Glee stars.
podcast.
Oh right, yes.
So Rachel Kurt's telling Rachel about the NIADA showcase, which is suddenly this very important thing that Carmen Thibodeau hand writes and wax seals these golden letters, go to this winter showcase, which turns out to be a competition because the school is
delivers
insane.
all 10 of them?
Yeah.
Yes. So when you said hand delivers on a silver platter, the only thing that was missing in this scene was the silver platter.
The silver platter, yeah.
And the moment Kurt's talking about this, you're like, oh my gosh.
It's
I wonder
gonna
if
be
Rachel
someone
will
we
get
know.
one.
But also, I was like, how does Kurt even know this? He's not even a student at the school yet.
So, okay, they barely dropped this in, but like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm trolling the NIADA forums. And I'm like,
What?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a weirdo. He loves to lurk.
He's even lurking on the internet.
Oh my gosh. Kurt, you were my boyfriend.
But yeah, so like, and he explains this, but like, wouldn't Rachel just know this?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why does Rachel, I guess like they needed some like dialogue so that, spoiler alert, Kurt can get his letter. Like,
yeah, like, I don't know.
I don't know. But I also was just like, what made Whoopi or Madame
Thibodeau played by Whoopi Goldberg.
Played by Whoopi Goldberg. Choose him, because I feel like I just literally saw, like, in that scene, I saw her looking at Kurt's side profile and then wake up and be like, okay, intermission. Actually, Kurt's going to sing too. Goodbye. And I'm just like, what made her in that?
She is going insane. So like, okay, so I feel like it would have made more sense if Brody, because Brody was in a winter showcase before, he says that. It would have made more sense if he had been like, hey, Rachel, this is the DL about like getting these letters. Yeah. Like that would have made more sense.
And then talk to Kurt about it.
Yeah, like exactly.
You know? Or like if like they were like in a group together, like with the three of them, not like she run into him right before her performance and she's just like, I can do it. I know, like I'm just the best, and oh my gosh. And then she like ends up being amazing, and they asking for an encore, and she's like, oh my God, Whoopi, should I do an encore? And then she's like, oh my God, of course do an encore. And then you just an encore because Whoopi told me to do an encore. Yeah, sorry, Madame Thibodeau, play like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, like this whole storyline was probably the most infuriating they've had in a while that wasn't dealing with something like very real, like an eating disorder. Like this was
Yeah.
just plain up nonsense.
Yeah, so she walked through the halls, hands Rachel her letter. Rachel
In
is
dance class with Cassandra.
Yeah.
Because Rachel doesn't have any other classes.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
So they're in dance class, and Cassandra July, the Antichrist.
Well, that's Kate Hudson, right?
Yeah.
We have the Antichrist and a terrorist so far.
Yes.
In season 4.
Kitty the terrorist.
Yeah.
So she's like, work on your knees. And she's like, and Rachel's just suddenly like, I need a sip of water. And then she goes, and Cassandra July is like, everyone stop, because that's what they do when you're thirsty on Broadway. They stop the show. And then she's like, why are you always at me? I've taken everything you've thrown at me. And Cassandra's like, I don't throw, I teach. And I'm like, bitch, you throw.
I swear she actually threw something one time, did she not?
A tantrum, at least.
Yeah. So she's probably physically thrown something. She had to have.
Yeah.
And this is the point where like everyone in the class has stopped and is listening to this drama. And then they go into like oh, really? So you think you're so much better because you've improved? Show me. And then she like snaps her fingers, the piano player is like, opening number of Chicago. And all these students join in on this number, picking sides, okay? So there are people who joined Rachel. Those people get Fs for the semester. But I'm like, these kids pay $30,000 a semester to be part of drama, not to be actually taught something. But then I'm also like, but you know what? I'd probably sit there and listen to the drama too.
Whenever there was
100%.
Yeah.
I said to Alyssa, I was like, if I was in this class, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have to watch this. Though whenever there's drama in our screenwriting class, I'd always grab Hannah's knee under the table, like, oh my gosh. Like, I can't believe they said that.
This is what I pay for, the drama.
But also, like, it's inspiration to draw from furthering your career.
Yeah.
So really, it's just research.
Everything's research.
This is how not to act professionally when I'm on Broadway.
And
Or
so
here's another character you have to choose from in order to develop for something, you know.
yeah.
I'm gonna channel my Antichrist dance teacher for this role.
Like, you never know. You never know.
So
Is there a musical that features the Antichrist? Because that would be fucking amazing.
I feel like Sondheim probably has something. So they're
singing Chicago.
And I said to Alyssa, because I'm in a delirious state, I was like, nothing makes me feel gayer than having to watch Kate Hudson do this dance, and I'm supposed to think it's sexy. Just like nothing makes me feel straighter than Lily James' cleavage. This scene, I'm like, I'm just like,
snatched waist cleavage. Are you talking about Cinderella?
yes. But I was like, but watching this, I was just like, I'm so bored.
Yeah, and also this is technically the second time Rachel has done this song, sort of, because she did with Holly Holiday, aka Gwyneth Paltrow,
aka Goop.
She did the final number with her, and that features a few lines from All That Jazz. So
yeah.
Rachel's very in her zone right now.
I was just confused the entire time because I knew that it was like a competition, but I didn't know what the rules were, or like, I don't know. They weren't different enough for me to be like, okay, one is definitely better than the other. I was just like, what is going on?
I thought they were both garbage. That's what I think. I didn't like the dance at all.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like in that number you're supposed to be like, oh my God, Rachel, like,
Didn't they have a dance off already?
They did. And they're doing it again. And I'm just like, I still don't know what I'm supposed to get from this.
No, I think Cassandra July just danced at her. When she's at Lady
it
Gaga song.
was like it's like, like the Bring It On film where they're just like crumping and it's
Right.
like, and they're like, and the person who was like most and like overpowers the other one wins.
Yeah.
That is essentially Kate Hudson, what's her name? Cassandra.
Yeah.
Like, like when she was like pushing her around and all that kind of stuff, like she like essentially won. So yeah, I could see that. I guess she was just trying to say like your technique wasn't as good as mine because I overpowered you in this dance and outshined you. But then at the end where she was just like, you know what? Like, thanks for teaching me that I have to win this by my voice. And I'm like, we could have just cut out Hudson and just brought in like Lionel Richie to give her voice lessons. I don't know. Like, I just did not. I just thought it was the most useless scene. And then Lionel Richie was next to Whoopi Goldberg, like clapping for her, asking for like that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Kate Hudson, poof. Where is she? I don't know.
Yeah, she doesn't show up. She's just no, now I want Lionel Richie to be like the vocal teacher at NYADA.
He's in the Glee for sure.
He's on like American Idol, so he's like right?
Yeah.
It just makes
do it.
more sense.
What is that guy's name? Her boyfriend person?
Brody.
I was going to say Brian. And I was like, that's not right. Brody. It might have been interesting just to get him more in this plot line is to have him try
She's the TA.
Yeah. Like he could try and help her learn to dance better. And she could just be like, try really hard and then realize that she's way better at singing.
No,
Rachel's okay with being mediocre.
I feel
mediocre at dancing.
Oh my God, like he's her TA. Gosh, what a typical college.
Oh yeah,
you don't even know. There's so much drama with this guy.
Oh, because Cassandra slept with him.
So she slept with the TA, but now Rachel made out with her TA. So now he's crossing the lines of professionalism.
It's a chain of icky sexual situations.
Yep,
I just don't understand why people enjoy community as opposed to, someone who hasn't slept with your teacher. Like, why? Is he the only person there? Like, is it by force? Like him? Like, is it like truly by force? Like, I know Tinder was a thing, right? No, there wasn't even Uber. Oh gosh, yeah, in 2012.
This is the dark ages.
Yeah, the dark ages.
This is like the dark. I was like calling, but they have taxis. It's New York. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, and you have like clubs and bars. No, there's literally no excuse to recycle the same community ass dude. Like, there's no excuse. And then, like, oh my God, like Grandma Kate Hudson, like, there's no excuse. Sorry, Cassandra. There's no excuse to go with the younger TA unless you're in a midlife crisis, which she clearly is. Fighting freshmen.
Oh my gosh. So you don't even know. So let me give you a tiny tidbit because I actually just edited this episode. Cassandra slept with Brody because she was trying to get back at Rachel for whatever reason.
Hell no. Fired.
Yeah.
Fired. Fired. Oh, hell no. But also, Brody, why the fuck did you sleep with like her in the first place? Like, I don't even blame Cassandra because Cassandra, like, we already know she's two-timing ass, whatever. Aren't you supposed to like Rachel? No, I blame the dude. I blame him.
There's just so much bullshit.
They weren't like, there was something.
They were going on a date, but then she's like, oh, I have to go back for my high school production of Grease.
So then you go
right. Yeah, but it was actually so she could see Finn.
Yeah. And anyway,
and then she calls Finn, and then she gives this whole entire motivation thing like, oh my gosh, like the point of Glee Club isn't like to win. The point is for people who don't belong in the same circles to be besties. And Finn's like, oh my God, absolutely. Let me just make it all come together. Also, the title, the title of the episode Swan Song, it didn't make any sense to me because it wasn't like, it didn't seem like it was their swan song. I had to Google what song was as well.
Nobody was leaving. Nobody was quitting.
It wasn't their except for Cassandra.
Yeah, that was her swan song, hopefully.
It must be her swan song. It absolutely has to.
She gets fired after this episode.
Please, I beg. She should have been fired whatever episode she even thought about Oh my God.
Chidera does such a better job of summing this episode up than I can. So I'm like, yeah, let me go back and go through the details, but
Oh my
we got the
gosh.
gist.
I'm just really disappointed in her. I'm just disappointed in that, like, I just feel like I'm just disappointed in that entire.
She's not even mad. She's just disappointed.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. They could have done better. Brody should have been the one to explain the golden ticket to Rachel, not Kurt snooping on some forum somewhere. Like, they should have been like a 3-party thing. And then like Kurt could have still done his whole thing. Like, they could have still done everything exactly the same, but just make it more sense. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Like, that's all I could have done. So
yeah.
That's what we plead every week.
Just make it make sense. So
Brody finds Rachel before her performance and he's like, "Are you nervous?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm so nervous. But I also know that I can't cure cancer or write a novel." I wish she was like, "I can't read."
She's like, "I'm not the prettiest girl in the world, but I know I can sing." 100%.
I was so confused about how to feel because she's usually so annoying, and this in itself was kind of annoying because she was tooting her own horn, for lack of a better term, and then I thought something was going to happen so that she would learn that she's not the best at singing, if she has to work for it.
But we didn't see anyone else sing with the exception of Kurt later on. But like anyone else in that competition, we saw a
ballerina.
Basically the Black Swan. Natalie Portman in the Black Swan. And that was it.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman will play Cassandra July in the reboot.
And she will do it so much better justice.
Oh my gosh.
Brings so much depth to that character.
See, I liked the fact that Rachel was confident in herself and her abilities, but I just wish there was more character development leading up to that point. In terms of just her like practicing her singing, like realizing like not dancing against Kate Hudson, who slept with her wannabe boyfriend, like actually like practicing her craft and realizing like, like I can do this myself. And then like talking to him. Actually, no, F that. They could have like crossed out her talking to him. She should have talked to herself in the mirror.
And then nothing happens.
Like it was like literally nothing happened. And then she was just like, then she kissed him and she's like, like I've decided that I'm just gonna do things I never thought I would do before. And it was like, ooh, spicy. But like there just needed to be more character development. Does she even know that he slept with Cassandra?
Yes.
They have shut out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I hashed it out, but I mean, teach their own.
But so because like we went from Cassandra's scene and then it's like, oh, all of a sudden we're at the winter showcase. It's like, wait, that's it. So nothing happened. It was just like,
or we didn't see anything happen.
Yeah, that's true. There's probably a lot of off-camera stuff that was like really important. But
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie was there.
Lionel Richie, he should have been there.
But like, it's basically just.
Go ahead.
It's basically just like a speedy path to her getting exactly what she wanted.
Yeah.
Because like they set up like there's only been one freshman in the past like 10 years to get into the showcase. I don't think any freshman has ever won or something like that. It was like she had these obstacles of like the history and the lore of the event in front of her, but she surpassed them. And I'm going to say it. I don't think the number that she sang was that great. Like it was her singing Barbra Streisand.
Was that Barbra Streisand again?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought it was like an okay song.
Yeah. It was very like, she's singing Barbara. Okay. I thought it was going to be something like really interesting and new for her, but she didn't challenge herself. She's probably sang that song 1,000 million times.
Yeah. She sings, was it Isn't It Good Enough? I was bored.
I was also bored. I really liked her dress. Does that count?
It's very
Did you like it?
Well, we're not even 2006.
It looked like a prom dress that was trying to look like a wedding dress because it was like white.
I just kept thinking it was like on point for a winter, whatever it's called.
Winter showcase.
Winter showcase.
Tailored.
Yeah. It needed to be better tailored. Like it was just dragging on the floor and not even like in like a good, elegant way.
Yeah.
And like the waist to be a bit more snatched. I needed her hair. I would have loved to have seen her hair like in a half up, half down. Instead of just like the dress was draping and her hair was draping. I needed more contrast between her hair and the dress.
I agree.
Like she needed like a necklace to like connect her head. Like it just it wasn't giving what I wanted it to give.
Yeah. And yet she got a standing ovation. And some douchebag in the back was like, encore. I think it was Brody.
Yeah.
It was Brody.
Yeah.
And then she looks at Carmen Thibodeau, played by Whoopi Goldberg, and Whoopi's like, go ahead, girl. And I'm like, why would you do this? This isn't fair to the other students. Do the other students get an encore, or are there no other students?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I feel they're
just the two of them.
Just the three. Kurt. Like I just don't even.
He wasn't a student yet.
That's true. Yeah.
I was just thinking, this world of Glee is so obsessed with fucking competitions because, like, if I would see my friends perform at like in college to go to their showcases and stuff, and it was just like, oh, we're gonna watch a performance and it's gonna be nice. Like, why does everything need a winner? Like,
right.
Because if there are no winners, then we're all losers.
You just win the ability to be a winner.
Yeah, like what does she win? Does she win like scholarship money?
She wins prestige.
I think it's literally just bragging rights. Yeah.
That's so lame. I hate that. Okay, but also did we talk about Kurt real quick? Of like when he went to Carmen Thibodeau's office? Yeah,
he took a page out of Rachel's book and harassed Carmen Thibodeau.
I forgot she did that.
Yep.
I thought that was actually pretty necessary to explain his story. So I wasn't like mad at that. And I feel like I understood what she was saying, where like it seems like Kurt is like very like surface level. Which is, I think it's true. Just like even just like in like the 1-2 seasons I saw in the beginning, he really does like lean into like props and like really leans into like the showiness of everything. And I feel like Carmen's like, I mean, like in the show, it just showed like Carmen's style was more like soul, emotion. And I guess you definitely felt the emotion in Rachel's performance. But I feel like, I just thought that scene was like tied into his storyline pretty good. The only one that actually made sense.
It makes a lot more, him going to her office makes a lot more sense than her chasing down Carmen Thibodeau.
Yeah, because like Rachel, with the help of Tina, chased on Carmen Thibodeau when Rachel was rejected because she choked twice in her first audition. And then like, so yeah, I bet Rachel was like, oh my God, so Tina did this thing for me. You should do it. Just go into her office. She'll love that. But yeah, like thinking back on the song that Kurt ended up choosing for his audition, he wore gold lame pants, right?
Yeah.
So he was very showy. And I think you're right, Chidera, like her assessment of like what he brings is that showmanship, which is awesome. But like she didn't see anything else beneath that. So yeah, I think that definitely it gave him actually a really good obstacle. Rachel didn't really have anything to change about herself. Kurt 100%. Did. Kurt had a lot that he had to like grapple with.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like Kurt, honestly, I feel like they should like do like a 180 and made Kurt win. Like I really feel like Kurt's character development in this episode made a lot more sense. And it just also seemed like a Rachel explains it all kind of episode where Rachel is like, oh my gosh, Kurt, like you don't need the pants. My favorite time you sang was when after your dad was in the hospital and you were just emotional. And then Kurt calls Finn at the high school and is like, oh my God, Glee is all about love. Like, it's like, but then Rachel had literally no obstacle of her own.
Yeah,
because like Kurt was also thrown into like, oh, okay, so thanks Rachel for your encore. so we're gonna take a little break, but then Kurt's gonna come back and sing, and everyone in the audience is like, Kurt who? He doesn't even go here.
Doesn't even go here. No, that actually surprised me. I was shocked.
So he had immediate pressure, and he had to show her, like, I need to be more emotional. I need to show my depth. So, like, Kurt was adequately challenged.
Yeah.
Because Rachel's encore was "Oh Holy Night."
Because
she says
it's
her favorite
Christmas.
It's her favorite holiday song. Once again, the show forgets Rachel is Jewish.
I was gonna say, why would that be her favorite holiday song? It's literally about Jesus Christ.
I think it was actually a lot of Christmas songs are written by Jewish people, though.
Yeah, like
that
White
is true.
Christmas is written by a Jewish person. Yeah, and a bunch of other ones that I can't think of.
Let me look it up. Is A Holy Night written by a Jewish person?
It is my favorite Christmas song, at least of the religious ones. It's way better than Silent Night. You can fight me in the comments.
Wow, I'm gonna fight you right now.
Oh my God! Oh Holy Night was written by a Jewish person.
Holy crap!
All right, there you go.
That's crazy. Who wrote Oh Holy Night? What's the name? So that's Oh Holy Night, a song written by a Jewish man based on a poem by a French atheist rejected by the church. Oh my God, so many layers.
So many hot takes.
Okay, I also don't know if this is like true. This is from what website is. I don't know if it's like it's.
So if it was a French atheist that wrote it, are they like joking? Was this an ironic song or ironic poem?
Holy Night.
Holy Night.
What's it called? Hallelujah is like an ironic song too. Like
the David. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that makes a little more sense though to me as being ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it was
That is a lot of layers.
That's a lot of layers.
I love this.
That's Seed Kapu.
Yeah.
All right.
Kapu, a man with little to no interest in religion, wrote the poem.
Interesting.
No, okay, so that actually makes sense.
Season
All
1,
right.
Rachel would have been like, and by the way, this song was written by a Jewish person.
Yeah.
And then Quinn would go like,
Wait,
eye
let me see.
roll.
Let me see this one.
Or everyone in the audience would go, boo, no more encore. We don't want facts, just sing.
Just sing.
Because that's how she starts her thing. She doesn't say, I'm going to sing this song. She says, I'm Rachel and I'm going to sing for you. And I'm like, that's it? That's all you have to say?
That's all she needs is her voice.
Oh, what's his name? Adolphine Adam? Yeah, he's a Jew who wrote Oh Holy Night. So yeah, that's actually really on brand for Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
The
The more you know.
more you know.
And that's our educational corner.
Yeah. More research. Dang. 'Cause last week we did research too. We never do research. And that was a joke for a while. And then like we would get on these tangents and I'd be like, oh, well, someone look it up. So
So she sings Oh Holy Night, and then then Whoopi Goldberg, played by Carmen Thibodeau. Carmen Thibodeau played Whoopi Goldberg.
say hi. Say hi, Levi.
Oh my gosh, wait. Oh my gosh, you won't even see my dog. Hello.
Say hi.
Look at her.
Oh.
I know she's just like, who are you showing me to?
Oh my goodness, so fluffy.
Good puppers.
It's expensive
Do you like
too.
Glee? Oh, thank you.
Is he
Oh,
an
is she a
Australian
husky?
Shepherd?
Yeah, she's a husky mixed with something. With some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure what, but
Is
rescued her
Levi
in January.
Levi,
Aussie?
we think he's either he's definitely border collie, but he's either Australian Shepherd or Australian cattle dog mix because his coat has a lot of that Australian cattle dog gray, but he does have a lot of like similar features to Australian Shepherd. So good boy.
So Kurt has a scene with Rachel, and I actually really like the scene where Rachel was talking about like your best performance was I Want to Hold Your Hand. I thought for once the show like remembered something that had happened.
Yeah.
And it built on their relationship history, and like for once Rachel was actually being a good friend. Kurt's like the only person he's ever actually a good friend to.
Yeah.
And so I actually was like, I don't hate this version of Rachel. Like this is a good scene with Kurt. And then Kurt gets out and sings Being Alive from Company, which I believe is a queer-coded song. So it's perfect.
Okay. I forgot to say this. I just saw it in my notes. So when Rachel's singing Oh Holy Night, it passes over the audience, and it looks like people in the audience are singing with her. Like,
Yes!
But there's no
background.
sound.
That's true.
There's no sound.
Are they
But-
mouthing it or?
But one of those people you might have recognized. It doesn't seem like you did. It was Ellis from the Glee Project.
What? What?
Yeah, I had to Google it because I was like, that has to be her. I rewound it like 3 times and it passed over her and it was definitely Ellis. And I looked it up and she made a cameo in season 4, episode 9, Swan Song.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. It's
Why,
weird.
though? I mean, like, that's why.
But my bigger question is, why are their mouths open and there's literally no singing sound?
They're just going like, like,
Bah.
like a child
I
pretending to be a
thought they
fish.
were all yawning.
I mean, to be
No,
fair, I was mouthing the words when she was singing. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they were like, because usually like when you like are at concerts like that, like and people sing in the audience, you can't really hear them over the
Right.
actual singer. So I thought that made sense because especially because it's like a song that like everyone pretty much knows.
Right. But I think they were literally just like doing like background, like, oh, like that or something. It was so weird, but no sound was happening. I was like, this is great. And I was like, oh my God,
the
that's
sound
Ellis.
mixer just like fucked up that scene.
Yeah.
Well, this song was recycle. Rachel sang "Oh Holy Night" in the season 2 Christmas album, not
I
the
was gonna
episode, but the
say.
album. So they just
Yeah.
reused it.
I was
makes
gonna
sense.
say, I was like, I knew that was an album, but I didn't remember her singing it. That's interesting. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So Kurt sings the queer-coded "Being Alive."
It
And
actually made me tear up. I'm not gonna lie. I was like tearing up with Kurt. I was like, oh my gosh, why am I crying?
he sang so well.
Kurt has so
He
much
did.
depth
So
now.
well.
He, for once, wasn't doing this like falsetto thing. Like he actually sounded
Yeah.
like a man, which is fine that he wants to do the falsetto thing sometimes. But like, he just seemed like a more grounded and realistic person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard this song before, but I don't think I've ever seen the musical that is from.
Company. I haven't either.
Yeah,
I've
I
just read the
haven't either.
Wikipedia synopsis. I went through a phase in high school where, because I was like learning about musicals, and they would like reference all these musicals. I'd be like, "What happens?" And like some, let's be honest, Brigadoon is only worth a Wikipedia article read.
Wow, shots fired at Brigadoon.
Yeah, boring musical. Yeah, so
Does Kurt get a standing ovation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Carmen Thibodeau, played by Whoopi Goldberg, gives him one.
Yeah.
Well,
So we'll get to this scene later, but Rachel calls Finn, and I thought Kurt's gonna call Finn his stepbrother to tell him he got into
Right.
Miata.
his family member.
And I'm like, oh, that did not happen.
Oh,
But
I totally forgot. Because that's right. Like Kurt's dad was dating Finn or got married to Finn's mom, right?
yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. I'm so behind.
And so Kurt gets into Miata, and so he's super happy, and like finally,
Okay, but here's the thing. We had talked previously because also Sarah Jessica Parker, her character had frequently told him, you're more into fashion. Like that seems to be like what you're really, really good at. And I'm thinking he's going to get into NIATA. And I wrote, I swear to God, if he gets into this school and he rejects his acceptance or drops out of school, I'm going to flip my shit. Because Carmen Thibodeau has bent over backwards for these kids. And like, what a shun. Like, how rude would that be? Like, that's going to happen. Because why would they bring up the like, oh, you're so great with fashion thing if that wasn't going to be something he was going to pursue in the future? So that's my theory, is that he's going to screw Carmen Thibodeau over and she's going to flip her shit on him.
But I feel like
To be honest,
I genuinely hope that he does, because like life is too short to like stay in situations because you think you owe someone something.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
I honestly would be
like
really happy.
Yeah, I feel like if that's what it takes for him to get to his final destination, then that's what it takes. Like, I'm happy with that. Because I just wouldn't be like, oh my God, it's Whoopi Goldberg or Carmen Thibodeau, Whoopi Goldberg. I have to stay at this school. Like, if he stays at the school and he realizes like that's just not his thing, like I would honestly have a lot more respect for him if he just left than like stayed in a place where he was unhappy.
I am waiting for him to embrace his fashion sense and just like go 100%. With it. I'm waiting for it. But
let's quickly talk about his fashion sense. He was wearing camo pants.
I wasn't
performed in camo pants and like high so boots.
I was disappointed.
And you would think like Kurt was a bad friend for letting Rachel go out there looking like that.
Yeah.
Like he should have been like, let's get this tailored a little bit. Let's do your hair different. Yeah. Bad friend move there. I don't know if
that's me coming with like 2021 standards, but I just don't think that that's like a well-tailored dress. No, because I had my prom dress tailored in 2012. So like I really had it made fit to my body. So she could have got a tailor. I'm sorry. She could have got a tailor. So yeah.
That's the storyline, right?
Oh,
she kisses Brody.
She kisses Brody. And I just want to say
yeah.
That's so what are they, Rhodey or Rachel? It was a Rachel kiss.
Ship them. I feel like they're just ships passing through the night. I don't even want like they're not
Rachel.
And they're not even like putting over a little thing for someone to no, they're passing through the night. No. There's no way you stay with someone who slept with your teacher out of vengeance. Absolutely not.
That's a good point. Even though he was like, I'll never do it again. Can we move on from this? Whatever. And they're like, okay, yeah. But that's a good point.
Like, freshman. It's because she's a freshman. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Go to another person.
But I felt bad for him. I felt bad for him that episode though, because he was definitely being taken advantage of.
Fuck him.
No, there's so many different perspectives here.
No, you slept with the teacher, and no, fuck him. Literally, fuck him. Who?
Hey, you don't have to like. She doesn't have to date him, but she can feel pity for him.
Nah, that's community. That's for the streets. He's for the streets. And Rachel is smarter than that. Okay, no, ma'am, no biscuits and no ham. He's for the streets. Okay, for the streets. No. You're in New York City, the largest city in America. You can't find another dude. This just reminds me of like celebrities who keep recycling the same dudes over and over again. You're not a celebrity, Rachel. Go free, go like a bird. Go.
She's practicing for when she becomes a celebrity.
I know, and it's a way in that community. We were Cullen and I were talking about like who would go see that winter showcase, and no one except for people who are already like part of that community, like alumni.
You're not that famous. If she walked into Trader Joe's, I would not know who she was. Even as Leah Michelle, I guarantee you I wouldn't know who she was. I'd be like, she has really pretty hair.
Would she go to Trader Joe's?
Whole
I don't
Foods.
think she would do. Whole Foods only. I don't think she would go do her own grocery shopping.
Or if I run into her Instacart driver at Trader Joe's, I wouldn't have even noticed.
Yeah. Chidera keeps a list of celebrity breakups that she releases at the end of the year.
Oh my God, I do.
Do you really?
What?
Oh my God, every year. Oh my God.
I want to be on this mailing list.
Oh my God, it was so funny. When I was in Peace Corps, my counterpart, like I went to his wedding. He's like, I have to do everything in my power to make sure I'm not on this list. Like, oh my God, like I wouldn't have like normal people, but like,
yeah, that's so funny.
But he's like, no, like you never know, like when you're gonna like flip. I'm like, I'm not that like sporadic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah, I do.
Let's talk about Bam, or we call them Bram Stoker, author of Dracula.
Nasty.
Sydney.
How the hell are you eating Cheerios off the floor and being like, oh, thanks for breakfast?
That's just Brittany
The
for you.
bar is on the floor and she ate it. Disgusting. The bar is on the floor. And then they tried to kiss. Disgusting.
All I can think of is the PA who had to set up those Cheerios and then all the retakes they had to do when the extras were stepping over the Cheerios and accidentally kicked them.
That poor person.
Just for her to look into, oh my God.
Rest in peace to that production assistant.
And then she ate it. Oh my God. And she ate it. Oh.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to.
Yeah.
Streets. For the streets. Everybody. Like outside. Huh. Gross.
So yeah, Sam borrows the move from Hansel and Gretel and
really
leads Brittany to him with Cheerios, and she eats them off the floor.
Also, it's such a close line too. It's like ... not like one here, a couple blocks, one here. It's like literally like one of those, like you can push a Cheerio and they'll all fall down like dominoes.
Yeah.
Like that's how close they are.
I'm still scrunching my nose. Just so disgusting.
In the middle of the hallway.
In the middle of the hallway, people walked
around her while she was like,
and just eating it. And then she's like, thanks for, and then the thing that killed me, he had
a glass of milk
waiting for her. Oh, God.
Yeah, she had to wash down all those like dust bunnies with the Cheerios.
Oh my God. I just, for the streets. You learn that kind of behavior on the streets.
Brittany was probably raised by wolves, if we're being honest.
Yeah, her parents are wolves in people's clothing.
Oh my God. But there are points also too, because I feel like Brittany, they like, I feel like in Glee, they tried to make Brittany out to be like the Phoebe of Glee. And it just didn't really work at all. It just, because it just seemed like she was just like dumb. Well, while Phoebe in Friends was very like, Lisa Kudrow she just like made Phoebe, and like, she wasn't dumb. She was just Phoebe. And this one, Brittany just seems like dumb.
She's literally like super dumb, but we constantly say like she has like the best emotional intelligence out of any character on the show, because she just like she's weirdly so mature when it comes to like relationship stuff. She can like plan things out.
Eat Cheerios on the floor.
She ate Cheerios off the floor.
That's why I'm just like, would Phoebe and Friends eat Cheerios off the floor?
No.
Right? I don't think so. Would she make a song about Cheerios and play? Sure.
Yeah.
But Cheerios off the floor? I don't know. And it's like all that emotional intelligence about relationships to me just goes out the door when you start eating Cheerios off the floor and then saying thank you.
And then basically she's like, oh, like, how did you know? He's like, I know that you skip breakfast on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or whatever.
He said Tuesday,
Because the other days of the week confuse you.
Early days of the week confuse you,
yeah. And I was like, how does that make her skip breakfast? I don't get it.
But
I don't understand.
I just realized something. So you know how Sam is my golden retriever? I just realized, okay, golden retrievers will eat food off the floor, but they're so emotionally intelligent. They love you no matter what you do.
Wow.
Brittany's a golden retriever too.
They're both golden retrievers.
Is that is that like emotional intelligence or just abandonment?
That's emotional purity.
Emotional purity, yeah.
I think that's abandonment issues.
No, there's a difference.
Someone will serve
between...
you food on the floor and you love them unconditionally. That's abandonment issues. That's abandonment issues.
I disagree.
Unless you're a dog.
That's what I'm saying.
She's a dog as a person.
But then that, like, again, goes back to my original point where that's not a high bar for a human.
That's true.
That's not a high bar for a human. I'm sorry. It's just not. And like, they could have done so much more, but like the Cheerios off the floor, I'm sorry, that just lowered my bar for Brittany so low. Like, I wish she like put it in a bowl and had like Brittany, like in a cute little like Post-it or something like that. And then she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much.
He could have written signs like Cheerios this way.
Yeah.
Instead of putting cute. Cheerios on the floor.
Like Cheerios for my Cheerio. And then she would have been like, oh my God, how'd you know I skipped breakfast? Like,
well,
how did you know that I'm a Cheerio?
All the, yeah, exactly. Like, is there some sort of metaphor between her being a Cheerio and eating Cheerios? Is she eating her teammates?
Eating herself and her teammates. Yeah, it's cannibalism.
Okay,
you should have said that. It's cannibalism. That would have been a great line. But yeah, so okay.
So moving on from the Cheerios after 20 minutes.
I'm sorry, I just scrunched my nose for so long, you know? I just had to fixate.
So Sam is like, I really like you. He listens to her. He remembers that she skips breakfast on Tuesdays.
And he said that Santana was, what did he say? He said Santana was always mad because she knew that I was super into you. And I'm like, when did this happen? Never. That's when it happened. Never.
Yeah. I mean, she was always making fun of his trouty mouth, but she made fun of everyone. So I don't think it was very pointed.
Yeah, and they dated. Sam and Santana dated.
Oh my God! And now
I completely forgot about that.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Community. Oh, like this is.
That's what the Glee Club is. Like that's what Rachel should have said. It's like it's everyone being friends, and then she also said that she's like, and the relationships, even the romances, like it's literally just like.
Incestuous.
Yes,
it is. Sam will probably have dated the most people by the end of the series.
Oh my God.
He's already dated Quinn and Santana.
Mercedes.
I just think it's so weird though to date people who dated.
Yeah,
that's
isn't there a policy of like don't date your friends' exes? Like, isn't that like? It's a pretty like decent policy that a lot of people have.
Like, don't date your exes.
Yeah.
I just
because that's what Brittany is. His ex's ex.
His ex's ex, right? Like it's just community.
It's a mess.
Incestuous.
So
are you not ashamed of yourself? Embarrassed.
We have to like post that meme on our page.
Yes.
Oh my God. Are you not? No. I need the hair. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Hair flip.
So they sing Something Stupid because he's like, let's sing a love duet, and she's like, oh, is that why the band's here? So they sing Something Stupid. I thought it was pretty cute.
Oh, for a second, I thought you were saying like the song was stupid and you didn't know the name of it.
It's just Something Stupid. No, that's the name of the song.
Was happening. Stupid. Yeah.
It was a pretty cute song.
Yeah, it was cute, I guess.
I ship Sam and Brittany.
Sydney
sounds like an evil white female senator.
Marjorie Taylor Greene and Mallory Sydney. Mal Sydney.
I don't ship Community.
I've been in the Gleeverse so long that
I'm like, no, this is normal behavior for human beings.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine if it? Oh my gosh! I was in band or band adjacent in high school, and I guess that was normal behavior.
Yeah.
Not me though. Not me.
No. She would never.
But you know.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty cute, and he's about to kiss her, and then she's like, no, she's like, I can't, and he's like, is it because of Santana? And she's like, no, it's more because like all the lesbians of the nation. So this is like one of this episode had a lot of meta moments, and it was referring to the Britannia fandom. She's like, they just found out we were dating and got inspired. I got comments on Lord Tubington's Facebook.
Yeah.
supporting us. And I'm pretty sure Cord Overstreet did get death threats when this relationship became a thing.
Damn. Seriously?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Wow, that's a little much for my taste.
I mean,
Also, Britney's not lesbian, people. She's bi.
yeah.
So there you go.
But I heard that too. There's a line later that I really want on a t-shirt. And I'll make sure to point that out. But yeah. But like, she's like, I can't do this. I want to protect you, essentially.
I don't want them to hurt your beautiful face and your beautiful lips. Because he's like, oh, is it because of my lips? And she's like, no, they're so big and horizontal.
Yeah, I was like, horizontal? Okay, I guess. That's what most lips are, right?
Well, when she said that, all I could think of were vertical lips. So,
well, there are some vertical lips, but we're not going to get in there. Brittany does. It's a vagina joke for the folks who don't understand it.
Can't wait to have my parents on this podcast next week.
Next week.
They know what they're getting into, right? You told them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm probably not going to swear that episode.
Yeah. I don't think I swore when Alyssa's mom was on because I was like, but Beth, I can't have her hear me swear.
We swear all the time.
Also, so I was okay. So quick side note: I'm editing the episode where we had Rafa on, and Alyssa has her own line, right? And it comes up with her name, but it got clipped, so it only says Allyssa Swearing. So I just every time I see it, I just picture her just saying a bunch of swear words. That's the only thing that the soundtrack is. So.
Yeah, so then later on, Brittany is like, I just decided to take every opportunity we can get.
Wait, is this at Sam's locker?
Yeah, that's full of chapstick.
Full of chapstick. So many.
He offers one to her.
Yeah, she goes, no thanks.
Oh my gosh.
See, totally normal human behavior.
So he offers her chapstick, and then she's like, I got a reservation at Breadsticks at the VIP table.
Whatever that is.
The only slot opens at the same time as Glee rehearsal, but let's go together. He's like, oh, like a date? What about the lesbians?
No, he says, this is what I want on a t-shirt. What about the lesbian blogger community? I want that on a t-shirt.
And so they decide to go on a date because she's like, you make me happy, and Santana's gone, and you're the first friend that made me smile without Santana, and like, you're hilarious, and I want to spend time with you and your hilariousness.
And then he ends on a sick impression of somebody.
Of Forrest Gump.
Of Forrest Gump. Oh my God, the impressions. I think I made a note about that. Hold on, let me see my notes. Let me see my notes. Hold on.
His impressions are like dorky and dumb, but they're kind of funny.
Oh, I was the opposite. I wrote impressions, not funny.
That's John Mulaney.
Quite literally the opposite of what I said.
I was just like, there.
John Mulaney as who's he, the not funny?
Oh yeah, as Mick Jagger.
Yeah,
not funny. Yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah, but that's Brittany and Sam. I like this storyline. It was cute. I ship my favorite blondes.
Yeah, they're so blonde together. It's crazy.
Yes.
They have so much in common, like horizontal lips.
So let's talk about Finn and the Glee Club. So we're gonna go back to the opening of the episode. Marley just fainted. Everyone's rushing her into the choir room, and Kitty's like, "Oh, feed her something."
Was anorexic? Is that
yeah.
why? Because I feel like I don't know. I feel like, I guess, I don't know. that whole line of people being like, well, it's all Marley's fault. It's all Marley's fault. I was like, oh my God, like,
yeah,
like,
it got
like,
aggressive.
It got like super aggressive. And I'm just like, but they never even touched on like her recovery or anything like that. They just were like,
or how she felt about being blamed.
Yeah.
Like her whole thing, the last episode was like, I'm going to fail. Like if I don't do well, the Glee Club is going to fail. It's going to be all my fault. And then like she succumbs to that pressure, faints. And then like, I guess quote unquote, it technically is her fault, but like, there's no aftermath of that. Like we have no idea how she feels.
Right. And there's also just not like even like the pressure that they put on her to be like, oh my God, the new Rachel. It's like, fuck you, I'm Marley. But I guess like not like that self-aware in high school to tell people to fuck off that you're yourself, you know, but still it was just kind of like, like the fact that they didn't touch on that and the fact that people were, but that what they touched on was how aggressive everyone in the club was at blaming her. Like that kind of, I don't know, that like did not sit well with me. And then, but like she was the first person to sing with Finn and she like wanted to like get in there. And I'm like, of course you want to get in there. You fucked everything up. It's like, oh my God, like no one's supporting her. Like, I don't know.
It's crazy. And then Santana has this, I don't know what to call it type of line. She basically, she calls Marley, but talking to Kitty, you turned her into a Rexy. And I was like, a Rexy? Oh my.
What is that referring to?
Anorexic.
Anorexic.
Oh, see, I was thinking T-Rex.
It was very weird.
A T-Rex.
Oh my God.
A tyrannical anorexic T-Rex.
Yeah. Which I blame Kitty, the terrorist, the threat to our nation's national security, the threat to my security, and the threat to Marley. I will not feel safe as long as Kitty is free. Yeah.
Santana was like, you fucking gave her anorexia. Like,
and Kitty, they have shots of Kitty like feed her something like and looking guilty, but I'm like, you fucking did this, bitch.
Yeah,
and I don't mean that in the sassy gay way. I mean that you are the worst person.
You literally did this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I just did not like, and the fact that there was like I just did not like they barely touched on it. They barely touched on it, and then the fact that she lost, and then
they only lost, and the Warblers won because they're like, you left the stage. You could only leave the stage for however many minutes. We have to get back out there. It's like someone fainted on stage. Like, can they not get a break to come back out?
I know. That's for me. That seems
like
unrealistic.
That's a health risk to a child.
Yeah, like a literal child. Like, I just feel like if this was actual real life, they would have been able to go back on stage.
Yeah.
With like her
in
back.
sports, if you get injured, you don't say, like, keep playing. Like, play over that football player's concussed
Play
body.
over the concussion. Fuck your ankle.
That just makes me think of there's like a short GIF I keep seeing because the Olympics are on, and it's like this volleyball team, these two volleyball teams playing, and someone spikes a ball and hits someone on the other team in the head, and he passes out. And then like they keep spiking the ball, keeps hitting him. And then finally the team picks him up. And like when they go for another spike, it hits off that guy's head and they just drop him on the floor again and celebrate winning. Like that's what that makes me think of.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's real, or it might be. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like that Scott Sterling video. Yeah. Yeah, it was not realistic. And then Sue's like, Glee Club is over and it's all your fault, Finn.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, everyone's blaming Finn. Everyone's blaming Marley. Everyone should be blaming Kitty. Everyone should be blaming the crazy rules of show choir.
Yeah.
And I also think people should be like just taking care of Marley. Like the fact that no one even thought to like take care of Marley, get her some like help, like no, like none of
that. They
that.
got her juice. And then she's like, no, I'm okay. And I'm like, no, you need to see a doctor, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that she was also still at school, like, it just made no sense. It just made no sense to me. Like, I would have loved if they had cared about her well-being first, because people were saying, because like, what if she wasn't anorexic? You know, like I feel like they would have taken her more seriously if it was like a mental health thing. Like if it was just like, oh my gosh, like she realized she's, I don't know, like diabetic or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you know, it like they would have taken her more seriously, which like sucks. 'Cause, like they should have taken her as seriously with what she was going through, like mentally.
Yeah, she had bulimia. She probably should be going to rehab.
Literally.
That's a really good point, that like, because it's a mental health issue, not like what a lot of people would consider like a physical health issue, they would just like, they kind of just brush it off. But like, yeah, if she had like a diabetic attack, like her sugar dropped and she just fainted because of that, they would have been like, okay, we're pausing. Okay, you guys get her settled. Okay, bring in your second, whoever's going to sing her songs, and get back out on stage.
You know, and they wouldn't have been like, oh, Marley, it's your fault. Like they would have never done that ever.
Yeah.
And like that for me is just like the most disappointing part. And it's like it's 2012. Like like these conversations around anorexia, bulimia, like those were happening. So why was it like made fun of? And another thing, this is what I was going back to when I first introduced the episode, like with Sue, when she came in and she was just like, oh, we're taking over the Glee Club, and everyone's like finding new things to do. And Blaine, right? Blaine and is her name Cindy?
Tina.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why I thought her name was Cindy. But oh, because her last name is like Cohen Chang, right? Chang, yeah. Oh my God. Cohen Chang. Oh, I'm like the worst of the show. But she like made like a slur after slur. And I just thought that was just like, I felt like that was a show trying to get cheap laughs. And like that's like my biggest issue with like show, like with Glee originally, because like I just stopped watching it because I felt like they would keep trying to get cheap laughs based off of like homophobia or like racism. And it's like, that's like, that shit's not funny. It never was funny. Like, I don't know why people are like, oh, it's a different time. Like, different time for who? Like, I don't know. Because like, if you were in that group that they're mocking and like minority, like, it's not funny. It was never funny then. It wasn't funny in 1870, 1650, 40 AD. It wasn't funny then. It's not funny now. Like, who are you? Like, and it just seemed that they were trying to get cheap laughs. And for me, this kind of just proved the point to me that Glee isn't funny. Like, it wasn't like, it was never a funny show. Like, for me anyway. They would just get cheap laughs off of like Sue, Sharon, Sue.
Karen.
Sue Sylvester.
Sue Sylvester. They're just getting cheap laughs off of her ignorance. And they're like, oh my God, you shouldn't say that. That's so terrible. But she was just like, you can like have a terrible character and not have her throw racial slurs on daytime television or primetime television.
Yeah, like
that sums up our journey with this show.
Yeah. Because like I think like what is quote unquote acceptable, like there were things that were deemed by some people acceptable to say, but like we come back to it now and we're like cringing at like, would I have laughed at that? But then like looking at now, it's like, it's just not funny. It's like, you can see it's just shock value for laughs. And it's like her best moments are when she's really just like being maniacal and saying crazy weird things about Shu's hair that aren't like racially motivated and ethnically motivated. Like when she's doing those kind of things, she's funny and she's in her prime, but like when she's just being rude, it's just like,
it's just being like racist. It just really takes it away. And it's like, why are the writers add this into her character? Like they could have just made her someone who like makes fun of what's his name?
Most of the people who are writing are not people of color, right? Are there any people of color on the writing staff at this point or at all?
I don't know. There is a Hispanic guy, or a Latino guy.
Oh.
Chidera's like, oh, I'm impressed.
So the majority is not people of color. They're majority white people.
It just like makes sense because it's like, I mean, I remember I was watching this one movie too that was like from, I guess like this same era, early 2000s, I think. And this like this random white guy just says the N-word and everyone like laughs. I'm like, That's not funny. Like, that wasn't like, they're like, oh, there was a different time. They're like, for who? You? Like, I'm a Black woman. That was never funny. Like, that was never funny. That was never funny. So, like, it's not funny. Like, why am I like, it's not funny then. It's not funny now. Like, either get writers who are actually funny or stop, like, going off of like racial slurs to like get a cheap laugh from white people. Like, that's the only demographic who will laugh at that. Because like there's like I don't know, getting cheap laugh based on racism is just like so low class, so low bar. Quit your profession, quit your job, work at McDonald's, please. Like, don't make your stuff go on television anymore. It's like, you're not funny. It's okay. You don't have to be funny.
Not funny.
It's funny. It's embarrassing. Okay, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I think it also like shows like this and many others that do the same thing would sort of color the perspectives of a lot of younger kids, because like that's something that we always go back to is like, okay, well, what the young audience and the parents that are watching this, you know, like, this is meant for teenagers, young adults. Like, what are they consciously or subconsciously learning from any of this media? So it's
you have to take responsibility for what you put on the air, and that's not responsible.
No,
it's not responsible. And I guess they just thought it was funny, and it's like,
it's so funny
if you
because
want to get a cheap laugh, like do some slapstick comedy with somebody. But like. But that's even slapstick. I don't know. That's like not my style of comedy anyway. But it's just like, why do you have to like? I don't know. Just Sue's whole character, like I couldn't even like see her as a redeemable character at all in all of Glee, because she would just make these like comments, and it's like, that's not funny. Like, you're not funny. You're not endearing. You're not like hee hee ha ha. I'm not like, you're just.
Yeah, she said some pretty transphobic things a couple weeks ago. Yeah, she's just like.
She's the character that everyone loves to hate, and they lean really heavily on that to try to quote unquote get away with those kinds of jokes and lines.
And it's just, I think a lot of shows do that.
But she's not the only one that does that too, because there are other people on the show, even the kids sometimes, who will say really nasty things that are racially motivated. Santana. She's a lot of Asian jokes.
Yeah. And it's just not. It's literally not funny. Hire new writers, because shit's not funny.
Hire us. We're funny and not racist.
Yes. Are you kidding? Yeah, we're hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, listen to our podcast.
Oh my God. But like, if you literally have to steep as low as racism to like get a laugh, you're not funny. Quit your job. You're not funny. If you got to be racist, homophobic, transphobic, if you gotta be like, if you gotta like dog on another person, you're not funny. Like, you're literally not funny. There's so many ways to make jokes. Yeah, it's just it's just infuriating. And like, when I saw her make that comment in this show, and I remembered like why I stopped before season 2. I remembered. I was like, oh my God, this is exactly why. Because this show is not funny. It's not funny.
So, so like she's tearing up the choir room. They're shredding the posters. She put something on the plaque of Lillian Adler saying she died choking on her own body fluids.
Not funny.
Not funny.
Like, oh my God.
And she
like this show, what the fuck? Like,
she's gonna take the trophy because it's in the room, so it belongs to her. And Finn's like, no. And they're like, this is actually kind of funny where they're like shoving back and forth.
This was actually a great moment because it was physical comedy, and it literally looked like Corey Monteith, the actor who plays Finn, was literally going to bust out laughing. Like, that's what it looked like. Yeah. Like, this was actually a funny moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, Figgins' office now, and they slowly shuffle holding the trophy.
Take it to Figgins' office. It's on his desk when we are there.
And Will's like, how can you let this happen? And Figgins is like, I used up all the space. We're running a deficit, blah, 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 blah.
So they're like, okay, well, what about this place? What about that place? And they're like, oh, I gave it to this group, gave it to that group. They have so many groups and clubs either community clubs or the actual schools clubs, that they do not have a second choir that these children can join.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, your competition schedule is over. You're done. And they're upset. And she's like, it's all on you, lumps. Because she's also fat phobic. Love that.
He's not even fat. He's a normally shaped man.
Yeah.
Except he's really tall.
And so it's basically over, and he gives her the keys, and then she's talking to Becky, and she's like, I've waited for this moment so long, but now I just feel empty and hollow. And Becky's like, that's me when I saw Prometheus.
I was like, what did she say? I couldn't hear what the movie was. And then what's funny is that, like, Prometheus, I think that was a movie I saw in theaters without having watched, like, the previous movie before it. I think that's what it was. And I also, too, felt devoid of emotion. I was like, what is this movie? It's so funny.
But now that I've seen it, funny scene. Yeah.
now that I've seen the movies back to back, it's actually an okay movie. But anyway.
And she's like, I worry about what will happen to those kids. And Tina's like, I'm a drug mule. And Blaine's like, I'm in the bathhouse circuit. And
then Brittany's is the best. She's like, I'm going to be studying finance at Brandeis. Apparently Glee was really holding me back. I was like, oh my God.
That was good.
That was great.
Artie sold his legs.
To science.
For science.
For science?
Like, there's nothing wrong with your legs. It's something in your spine that was broken. Didn't we settle on this? Why did you sell your legs for science?
Well, he doesn't use them.
Yes.
Ableist comedy.
I guess.
I mean, it just
came out.
Just disappointing. Like, disappointing. They could have literally done anything for, like, there's just so many other things that he could have done. There's so many other things that could have done.
He could have said, like, I sold my other kidney for science.
And then, yeah, this funny thing does happen, though. Brad, the piano player, comes in.
Yes.
Brad.
So he's the guy who always plays their music for them.
Mm-hmm.
And he never talks. He's always just snapped at. And he comes and he's like, thank you so much.
Children.
Like, they just snap at me and tell me, say, hit it. And you have to just figure out what song they want you to play. That was great.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. She was looking for a sign from the universe that it was the right thing, and that kind of confirmed it for her. So then everyone in Glee Club has joined different clubs. Artie's on the band. He's drum major. Tina and Blaine have joined the Cheerios. Jay, I'm like literally blanking on their names. Jake and Ryder. Play basketball, Jider, because Jake's actually good at basketball. Ryder's looking for something to do. Joe has joined an interfaith paitball league where Jews, Christians, and Muslims can
shoot at each other safely. And then they do like a quick shot to him getting shot with paintballs, and then the two guys take off their masks, and one is clearly Jewish, the other is Muslim, and they all like hug, and I was like that's actually kind of weirdly cute. Interfaith paintball league.
Yeah, and so they're all joining different clubs, and Finn, they all meet in the auditorium because Finn could rent it for 6 minutes. And he's like, I can't believe you're doing this. Artie, you look like a peacock died on your head. And he's like, it's a plume.
Oh my God, that was actually funny. It's a plume.
He's like, yeah, what are you guys wearing? Like, we have our Swan song. We have a performance for the show choir. And Kitty's like, we don't want to look like losers in front of everybody. And I'm like, yeah, we thought we would be winning. So we don't want to do this. And Marley's the only one that wants to do this. And Tina, I'm like combining a couple of things here, but we've kind of talked about this whole storyline, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Tina and Artie are like, Tina's like, the new Rachel Berry. I was friends with Rachel Berry. Rachel Berry would never do that. She basically says new Rachel Berry my ass, but she doesn't swear.
Tina would never. I don't recognize this Tina. This is not my Tina.
No. And Artie's like, preach.
And Tina was going so hard on it's Marley's fault. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, chill.
Tina is team player all the way, always has been, always will, except in this episode, she just decides to ditch. Like, she would have been the first person to be like, guys, this is our senior year. We have to make the best of this. We are in Glee Club. But no.
Yeah. So I really wanted Finn at this point because Finn is like, enough. He does stop them, which is probably more than Mr. Shu would have ever done. But who was also there in the scene and not doing anything. But I wanted Finn to be like, it's not Marley's fault. I wanted him to spell that out, but he never did.
No, like, no one defends her. And she can't defend herself. Like, it's not fair.
And they don't even show her growth. They don't even show it. Like it's, oh my God, this
did this make her eating disorder worse? Like, what happened to her? Like, that pressure and then seeing that like come to life, like all the worries that she had for something that wasn't her fault, like she couldn't control that. Like, would that make her worse? I would think it might. Like, it could. Yeah. Like, she would just be like spiraling, but she's still just like so timid and just like, I'm gonna keep doing this, whatever. It just makes no sense.
And she's like, come on, guys, and they all leave, and it's just Marley and Finn, and the lights go out.
Yeah, and it's just disappointing. All around disappointing.
Yeah.
So then Rachel gives Finn a phone call, and she's like, I won this thing. He's like, great.
You said, I wish you could like hear me roll my eyes, like.
And he's like, yeah, Glee Club's over. We lost. And she's like, Glee Club was about more than that. It was about Puck and Artie, the two worst people I know, being friends. She doesn't say that. I added that. She's like, it's about people, the romances, the friendships, the music. And I'm like, the character of Rachel always acted like it was about winning, so this doesn't really fly. But I did like the speech because that is what the club should be about. Like,
yes, it should be about the people.
Just don't think she should have been the one to say the speech.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
I don't think she should have called Finn.
Should have been Tina.
It should have been Kurt.
Yeah.
Or Kurt. Yeah, Kurt should have been called.
Yeah. It should have been Kurt checking in on his stepbrother. Yeah. It shouldn't have been Rachel.
So Marley comes to Finn, and because she's the only one that shows up for their 9:54 rehearsal on Friday.
So they're just outside, right?
No, this is inside because she's like, I have a place to rehearse that we won't get kicked out.
Yeah.
And so then Finn writes everyone an email. Yeah. Blaine and Tina flawlessly read the email while hula hooping.
Right. I saw that. But they look down briefly and then look at each other. And I'm like, no, you did not read that whole fucking email.
And he's like, Glee is about like being together and all that crap. And meet me at our rehearsal location. And so it's snowing and the band's out there. They're outside in Ohio in winter.
Okay. So this was a space that she secured, right?
Yeah.
How did she secure it?
Because nobody wants it during winter.
But I was like, I thought she was going to say like the cafeteria because her mom's the lunch lady.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
That would have been way more clever.
Yeah.
But I guess this works because it's outside.
Yeah. And at first it's just Marley and Finn, and she's like, I'm sorry, I was naive and insecure and self-centered. And it makes
you were conned into having an eating disorder. You're fine. You just need some help.
And I wanted Finn to say, because it'd be normal for Marley to think it's her fault with her personality and the way everyone's saying it is. I wanted Finn to say, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just those three words would have made this plot so much better.
But he didn't.
But Glee thinks it's her fault. Glee thinks it's the fault of people for having eating disorders.
And that again reminds me why I stopped watching this show.
How many fat jokes has this show made? Yet it still places the blame on people with the eating disorders. I'm like, Glee, you probably gave somebody an eating disorder.
And it's like it's 2012 at that point. Like,
yeah.
Oprah's done multiple specials on this by now.
Oprah's done multiple specials. There's so many opportunities for growth, intelligence. Like, it's just, we're in a different place
It's almost
mental
like
health.
we're watching a show that wasn't actually airing in 2012, but 1912.
Yeah. I mean, the royal family was doing all these specials about mental health. Like, where, like, oh God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy, why didn't you do better? Right, that's him, right? That's who did
Yeah.
it, right?
Because it's Ryan Murphy. He doesn't
Period.
do better. He
Has
just
Glee
does.
has Glee ever done anything about mental health?
I guess it depends on what you mean by what does anything. It depends on what that means.
Remember the peanut butter scene where Will was like, I cheated on a test and I was gonna jump off the roof because Krosky almost killed himself.
Yeah. You remember that great episode?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And they sang Kelly
Yep.
Clarkson's "What Doesn't Kill You Make You Stronger."
Oh,
In the
boy.
same episode in which a kid tried to kill himself. Yeah.
I wish I forgot it now. Can we go back to it again?
Yeah. Rewind your life.
Go back to my gift.
Another Degrassi also touched on anorexia, mental health, like all these things.
And that was before this.
That was early 2000s.
Yeah.
So like, no, they literally have no excuse to be like this out of touch. Like no excuse.
It's just going to keep getting
apart.
more out of touch. In a couple weeks, I saw on our schedule, there's an episode where we didn't schedule any guests for a reason because the topic is going to be very touchy. And it's not going to be good. So stay tuned for that one.
So then Marley and Finn start singing Don't Dream It's Over. I actually like that they had this little bonding moment. I kind of like them as a pair of characters together. I just wish it was better. Like there's so much potential, and Finn saying it's not your fault would have made their relationship so much sweeter. Like there's a sweetness, but it would have been like sweeter if he had said that.
But didn't Finn graduate? Like what is he doing hanging out with like underage children?
Great point.
Finn is
He's a volunteer coach.
Will went to Washington, D.C. and said, we don't need a teacher to run the Glee Club. We just need a body. So Finn, can you do it?
Finn is the body.
And Finn is a tall body.
Wow. Hope he's
Yeah.
getting paid.
Nope, it's volunteer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
After I graduated from high school, how long has it been? Over 8 years. I have never stepped foot in my high school again.
I'd say neither have I, but
I did once.
Never.
Oh yeah, you go back like what, every couple months, right, for holidays?
Like I can't never. So the fact that he's just there, chilling, teaching the Glee Club for free.
Yeah.
Back to my
What
high
the
school a
fuck?
couple times.
Are you not ashamed
Then
of
they
yourself?
tore it down. So
Oh. Yeah, I went back once, like a similar situation to like the Glee's episode, but since then I haven't been back. There's no reason. I don't think anyone would remember me.
And I was student body president.
Wow, you don't want to walk back in the halls and be like, yeah, I used to run this place.
I don't know how many more. Nah. Hell to the no. I mean, like high school like wasn't bad, but like I'm not going backwards.
Just no. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
No.
Cullen, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you go to your basement, does it feel like you're going back to school or does it feel like normal?
It feels like, my God, I can't believe how much stuff we still have to go through in this basement. When I went home in December, I went through so much of the basement and there's still so much more.
Like, what is it? Just like
we had like all our toys and Legos and stuff. And so that's what I got rid of. Because like my mom brought like, she has a lady that every once in a while comes and helps clean. And she was like, yeah, we're trying to clean out our basement. And she's like, there are children's toys in here. All your children are grown.
grown.
So when I went home in December, I like tried to get rid of a bunch of stuff, but then my siblings were like, we can't get rid of this. And I was like,
you guys, we're never going to use this again. If you want it,
get rid
take
of
it to your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't leave it at mom and dad's.
Yeah, so there's still so much
but
stuff there.
Here I'm saying that I have like a closet full of stuff at my mom's still. So
yeah. So yeah, then everyone in the Glee Club shows up to sing "Don't Dream It's Over."
Not everyone. Are Brittany and Sam there?
Brittany and Sam are there.
Are they? I thought they
They're
went to grade
the
6.
They're the first.
That
No,
was
first it was
another
Blaine and
day.
Tina.
Second one?
That was the other day when they had the reservation that no one went to.
But
And
they
then
said it was
probably
at. Oh, right.
Yeah,
there was like
this is
4
next day.
rehearsals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I thought this was a cute scene. Sugar wasn't there. Sugar already left. They did not want to pay her actress.
Yeah.
Kitty had the audacity to show her face.
With Artie, why she was with Artie, who knows? Also, she like stayed down with Finn, and I'm like, why are you there? You're pretending
what
like
I'm
you're like
saying,
a
like,
leader.
No,
Get
for
up there
real.
with the rest of them. Let Tina
I thought
and Blaine
the
stand down
exact-
here.
Oh, I thought the exact same thing. Exact same thing. I was like, who are you? I actually didn't know who she was. I was like, who are you?
Yeah, she had earmuffs on,
I know.
hiding
I
her
was like,
horns.
oh my gosh. I was like, no. Why are you downstairs leading? Who do you think you are?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. I do not hate the actress Becca Tobin. I'm sure she's a fine person.
She's a gem.
But she's going to be in the Starsky and Hutch reboot.
I don't know anything about her.
I think she's friends with Leah Michelle. So, but I don't have any animosity.
I was reading the things about the
Leah
tea with
Michelle.
Leah Michelle.
Oh yeah,
It
we've
honestly
gone through the
breaks my
tea.
soul. I see it. I feel like I can. It just breaks my soul to hear like that's what it was like working with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's a decent cover of "Don't Dream It's Over," and the episode ends.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay. So it is Tina time.
I didn't count it all.
She had 8 lines.
Yay! And
She
one of
spoke a
them was
lot.
really mean, telling Marley that it's all her fault and that she's not Rachel Berry, and it's like, get off my back.
No, literally, hop off.
This was not my Tina. This is not the Tina I recognize.
Tina's gonna do some stuff in the next few episodes, and
Oh, I know about one of them that I wrote it down because it's like, oh, Tina and Blaine are hanging out. Huh. I wonder what's gonna come of that. Cullen. So I'm excited for Alyssa to see that.
I'm not.
You're gonna hate it. It's gonna be great.
You're gonna hate it.
Yeah, you guys reference some things that, like, maybe the things that are to come that I'm just like, they're gonna hate this.
Yeah.
And I'm
Get
just
ready
gonna
for
hate the
some
whole
cringe. Yeah. Get ready for some
Sarah's like, I already hate it
cringe.
all.
thing. I hate the whole thing.
So let's talk our MVPs and LVPs. Chidera, who is your
Yes.
least favorite character?
Oh, in this episode, I think it was Tina. Because like
Yeah.
the way she just like ragged on Marley, I was just like step aside.
Yeah.
And also, between her and Sue Sharon, what's her name?
Sue.
Sue Sylvester.
Sue Sylvester. It's a no
Sue
from
Sylvester and
me.
her line on Yellow Dye 40. No, thank you.
Oh my God. Oh, it was just not even funny.
Yeah. So my least favorite, I have Cassie written first because like I just didn't understand the dance off. I thought it was pointless and dumb. I didn't like the dancing. But I'm also gonna give another shout out for Tina because I think she's going through something. She isn't in her right mind, but she still deserves the LVP because she would never. That's very rude. It was not Marley's fault, and she should have stood up for her.
She was possessed by the spirit of Ryan Murphy.
Yes, she was.
Alyssa?
I think I am also gonna go with Tina. For all of the reasons listed above. And she had 8 lines. You know what? That's not bad for her, but most of them were really ugly lines.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going with Tina too. This is Tina's first LVP. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
think
She did pressure Artie into walking that one time, but I don't know. I think this is her first LVP, and it's unanimous because it was a low.
Yeah.
It was a low for Tina.
It
And
was
this
a
is
really like despicable low.
not my Tina.
So, Chidera, who is your favorite character, your MVP?
My favorite character, I think I'm going to say Marley because she needs to catch a break. She
Ryan
needs to be
Murphy's not going to give her
supported.
one, so Chidera will.
I know, right? Like, if we're not giving her a break, I'm going to give her a break. Even if I'm standing alone, she'll have someone who supports her because literally, like, fuck them. What the fuck? It was so rude.
Yeah. I'll give an honorable mention to Marley because she stuck by the group because she really wants to be in the group. She's being a team player, unlike Tina. So I'm gonna give an honorable mention for her, but I'm gonna put the Interfaith Paintball League. I actually really love that small little scene they had. I thought it was kind of cute, so I went with that one.
I'm going with what's his name? Brad the piano man.
Brad, yeah.
He's finally like standing up and saying what he really thinks about the Glee Club, and he's putting his foot down. So
and we're all agreeing. We're like, yes,
good for him.
I'm going with Sam. I love his casting rocker.
Controversial.
And I'm liking this ship, and I thought he was very cute this episode. Shout out, Finn would have got it if he stood up for Marley and said it's not your fault. Because I liked where Finn was trying to get the Glee Club together. He was working so hard. I liked that. But he didn't defend this poor 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, he's supposed to. He's the teacher leader of the group, right? He should be able to be like, no, guys, come on, it's not her fault.
Yeah. She had a health complication. He doesn't have to go into her eating disorder. That doesn't even need to be, because that is a health complication.
It shouldn't
be that's
not
to be discussed. Yeah. She had a health complication. It's not her fault.
He should have stood up for her in front of the group and reassured her, like, to her face alone, be like, it's not your fault, I promise.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
But he came close.
But yeah. So let's talk about the music. Our songs were Being Alive, Oh Holy Night, Don't Dream It's Over, and Isn't It Good Enough? Oh, and All That Jazz. So, Chidera, what was your least favorite song?
I think my least favorite was... the one that Sam and Brittany sang.
Oh, Something Stupid. I forgot that. I was doing my notes real quickly today.
I was just like, I hated that one.
I'm going to go with Rachel's first song. I like Oh Holy Night. I like the cover. I listened to it on the Christmas album. But I didn't like this. I don't like the song. It's slow. I thought it was very mediocre. It was a safe choice for her.
Yeah.
And while I think like that's fine to do, but like she really wanted to win and show her skills, like I think she should have challenged herself.
I think she should have come out singing. I can't remember who sings it, but remember that song Angel in the Night?
No.
It was like an EDM song that was very popular when we were in high school. And I want her to sing the EDM noises as well as the lyrics.
That would be very risky.
It's going,
and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
She's in like an all black leotard covered with like handprints of paint. And the lights go off and she's like glowing.
And she's like, I'll show Cassandra that I can dance. She's like doing like a Blue Man Group number.
Alyssa, what was your least favorite song?
My least favorite song is going to be All That Jazz. I did not understand that dance competition. I didn't like I didn't like anything about it.
I'm going with All That Jazz. If I had any doubts about whether I was gay, this song
confirmed it.
Yeah. Hated it. I was like, I hate this, hate that it's happening. I'm bored. Favorite song. So Chidera, what was your favorite song?
Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna like literally like eat me alive. My favorite one was All That Jazz.
Controversial.
We love a hot take on Gleeboot.
We
know,
love a
I
hot
just
take.
love Chicago and any cover
Yeah.
of any song.
I think the singing was cool. I thought the singing was fine.
Yeah.
I'm usually the one with the musical hot takes, so.
Oh my gosh, I know.
My favorite was Don't Dream It's Over. I think only because like it was the only one like I had like an urge to sing along to. The other ones I was just very passive about. And I thought it was a good cover. I actually really liked it.
I also liked Don't Dream It's Over, and I actually did sing along to it as it was going.
Don't
so.
dream it's over now.
It was a very well chosen song for the moment.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was singing along to it as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I kind of have a tie. Part of me wants to go with Holy Night, Oh Holy Night, because I do love that song. And I'm like, you give Leah Michelle a good song, she can make it come out of her mouth.
Yeah, that's what singing is, Cullen.
Yes. But I think I'm going to go with Something Stupid because
Okay.
I thought it was cute.
Wow, we're like literally opposite.
Yeah.
Like literally opposites.
I was emotionally invested in a new Glee relationship, and I don't know when the last time that ever was.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So yeah. That's the end of our episode. So Chidera, do you have any social medias you'd like to plug?
Well, I'm starting a YouTube channel finally.
Yay!
I know.
I'm so
Cullen's
excited.
like- I know. Cullen's like, are you kidding me? Finally, yeah. But right now I just have my Instagram. It's at the Chidera Company. So it's @TheChidera Company, COMPANY. I think I spelled that correctly. So follow me on Instagram there. And yeah, there's a link to my YouTube.
What's your YouTube about?
I haven't posted a video yet, but it's coming. I'm trying to figure out what I want it to be. I think it's going to be like lifestyle, but also just like me sitting in front of a camera, doing my makeup, talking about anything.
Nice.
Maybe
Yeah.
might be like a book review, like a booktube makeup lifestyle, something.
I like that.
So we'll see.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
See, like, yeah, I was seeing celebrity gossip, but I feel like sometimes there's slow days with celebrity gossip, and I feel like, I'm like getting old, like 30 is like around, but just kidding. It's literally like 3 years away. But like, I'm just like, I read, or I want to get into reading more. So
Yeah. Also, there's like a lot of celebrity gossip channels, and I feel like you want to do something like stands out. I think that would stand out. So I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So by the time this episode is out, you might have a video. So just text us when you post your first video, and we could like share it on our Instagram or put the link into the episode description.
Yeah. Because I need to also, like, when I was in Peace Corps, like my camera got ruined, my $700 camera. I know. That's where I'm like, roommate, sponsor me, please.
Yeah. Goodwill roommate, sponsor her.
Goodwill, sponsor me, please.
Yeah, you could show. Oh my God, you should show off the Tiffany glasses you got.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna be sipping it every single episode.
Yes.
Like, I'm rich. Like, who has Tiffany glasses?
Only rich people, honestly.
Only rich people, period.
All right, so you can follow Gleeboot on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We are at Gleeboot Pod. You can also follow us on Tumblr, gleebootpod.tumblr.com.
Gleeboot TikTok did kick me off last time I tried to use it. I will figure out how to get back in.
Wait, what?
I was like, oh, I'm gonna post something to the TikTok, and it was like, no, this is like you haven't used it in so long. Like
I didn't know that TikTok did that. There's
I
so
didn't know
many
they did
weird
that.
things.
They kicked us out.
Well, I think I just have to log back in, but I
you haven't used
tried
the
and it like didn't work. So I have to try again when I think of another TikTok idea.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. You can follow I promise it's not Defunct Forever YouTube channel at YABOI Ryan. And you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at YABOI Ryan99. You can go
might even
back.
find my old videos I did with Cullen.
Yeah, me and Chidera have a video together on my channel
God, isn't
about
it crazy?
basic pumpkin spice.
I love it. Oh, it's
I
perfect for fall.
I look back on that video, I'm like, ugh, cringe.
I think it's one of my best videos. I think it's really
Are
funny.
you serious? I feel like I was so cringy. I was like, oh.
She's playing a character named Stacy with a CH.
Stacy with a CH. You know.
Wait, where?
In Boston.
No, but where does the CH go?
Yeah.
That was kind of the joke.
Oh,
I don't really know.
STACHY. Stacy. The H is silent.
The C. Oh God, cringe. Actually, you know what? Delete this from the podcast. Don't look for that video.
No, look for it. Yeah.
Alyssa.
And you can follow me on Instagram at a.m.swearingen. I did post the sweater tank top that I finished.
You did.
And it is too large for me. So I'm currently trying to make it smaller and possibly will add some things to it. So there might be an update on that.
Very
soon,
cool. I like the
maybe.
pattern. The color is very nice.
I do like that yarn. Yeah, it came out really well.
Yay.
Yay. So yeah, that's the end of our episode, guys. Tune in next week for the Christmas special featuring Bill and Kelly Callahan.
Oh, I can't wait.
Bye.